Okay, here we have the general autonomic nervous system organization. You've got the Phunny Pharm forest, and that's where I got all the trees and the bears and everything in the forest, and we're going to explain what all these stand for and how they relate to the autonomic nervous system. This takes us to the Phunny Pharm forest. There's the female bear, that's Nikki. She's right here, Nikki, mama bear. Nikki fishes and takes her catch of fish to her bears. And what you got to look at, the bears, her little bears right here, these are the three musketeers, the three little muscarinic receptors. So let's take a look at, we got the CNS here, which is the university that sends the signals out to the ganglion. Well, we've got the presynaptic nerve, which is the river that flows to the ganglion lake, and we're going to say ganglion lake. There's a little sign here that says, or lake ganglion, or however you want to put it. So there's the ganglion. Now, the acetylcholine is the ace fish. And the cholinergic receptors are the muscarinic receptors, which are the bear cubs, the three musketeers. So we'll call it muscarinic. And the nicotinic cholinergic receptors are Nikki, the mama bear, and Nick, the mean grizzly bear, or the papa bear. Now, the binding of acetylcholine, or the fish, to the receptor at the ganglion are the bears catching the fish from the lake. And then acetylcholine esterase, is Esther the eagle. Okay, I know it's not the greatest eagle, but you can tell it's an eagle, okay? And she catches the fish before the bears or the cubs can get them. So the acetylcholine esterase stops the action of acetylcholine. Now, the parasympathetic nerves, the postganglionic nerve is really short. So Nikki the bear, it's as she returns to the cubs. And the binding of acetylcholine to the receptor at the target organ is at the muscarinic receptor. The three musketeer cubs get their fish from their mother. So she heads out, gives them the fish. Okay? Now, the target organs are the things the cubs can do after they get the fish. So they get their fish, and what do? They can go up to the eyes, they can poop in the woods, and all the things they can do. So these are what are called the eye caves. And we're going to talk more in detail about what the parasympathetic and the sympathetic system does. But this is kind of the whole overview. So you've got the presynaptic nerves that bring it to the ganglion. The ganglion, the acetylcholine is bound to the nicotinic receptors. And then the muscarinic receptors collect the fish or the acetylcholine, and they head out and do a lot of other things for the body. Now, same thing goes over here with Nick, the nicotinic receptors in the sympathetic nervous system. And what he does is he heads out to either the bats or the vampires or the antelope. So the antelope represent the alpha 1, alpha 2, and you've got the beta 2 because they got two wings. Bats have two wings, and beta 1 is the vampire that only has one wing. So this is how that's represented. You've got the postganglionic nerve, which is Nikki the bear taking the fish to her cubs for parasympathetic. And the postganglionic nerve for the sympathetic is Nick the grizzly bear, journey to the antelope or bats after catching the fish or eating the fish. Norepinephrine is what's called the norepi cross, and we'll talk about that. It's a cross that because vampires don't like crosses, It either says nor epi or epi. So it's norepi or epi cross that is to scare the antelopes or the bear or the antelopes or the vampire or the bats. The adrenergic receptors are the antelope, and the beta receptors are the bats or the vampires. And we'll go in a lot more in detail with each one. We've also got the neuromuscular junction, which is the NM junction gym, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But this is the overview that gives you an idea of exactly what the autonomic nervous system general organization is in the Phunny Pharm forest.